What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about several different horror topics in this video here today. We'll be talking about Final Destination. We'll be talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We'll be talking about Thanksgiving 2. And we'll be talking about Crystal Lake. So starting off here with Final Destination. Final Destination Bloodlines, which we know is the latest entry in the long-running horror franchise that started back in 2000. It brought in $51 million domestically and I believe over $100 million worldwide for its opening weekend. Now that's pretty impressive. And regardless of my thoughts on the film, it is nice to see one of my favorite franchises succeed like this. It also speaks to how this fan base grew in the last decade or so while we didn't have a movie, in a general sense anyway. Craig Perry also just confirmed to Entertainment Weekly that Wendy and friends died at the end of Final Destination 3. There's a 40-minute long video of him breaking down all the deaths over the franchise. Now, like a dumbass, I thought that this would be enough for some to just accept Wendy's fate, but it wasn't. One reason was because apparently Craig said back in 2011 that Kimberly was dead, and now here we are finding out that Kimberly is in fact alive. The movie overrides his comments from 2011. That's all I can say there. The simplest way to find peace with this is by stop over connecting with fictional characters. It's a very unhealthy thing to do, and my mentions prove this at every turn. Wendy was a solid visionary. I loved that character. Still enjoy that character upon my rewatches. I even brought her up during the review as a talking point as to why Stephanie was inferior. But she died. Until she appears alive, she is dead. It is just like with Stu Macher. If this film, Scream 7, tells me that Stu Macher is alive, it does not matter what I thought and what I said leading up to it. It does not matter what sense it did or did not make. They creatively now have decided that this man is alive, so he is alive. The creatives, one of them at this point in time being the producer, are telling us Wendy is dead. That's the end of the conversation right there. Now, of course, many people are still going to lose sleep over it, and that's them. I mostly just want to talk about that because I know there are so many people out there who wanted to see Wendy back in some capacity, but until further notice, she is dead. Just like Stu Macher, they are maggot food. Or in Wendy's case, she's somewhere under a train or whatever, subway, stuck in the tracks. Now, let's talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Buffy the Vampire Slayer's recent production weekly listing suggested that the sequel series will shoot this fall in Atlanta. Obviously, this isn't confirmed until we hear from the cast and crew, but previously, Ankler reported that the pilot would shoot in California, and to back up Ankler more than Production Weekly really quick, a reliable casting call site, Casted Talent, has an untitled Buffy project still shooting in LA. Now, let's say this is shot in Georgia. How much of a big deal is the California setting to you guys? I asked this question because based off of Sarah's latest comments to Ryan, our new Slayer, we're going to New Sunnydale, and most of old Sunnydale was shot in California and took place in California. I know someone out there would prefer it to be shot in California again if the setting is still Sunnydale. Now, the other reason we should believe that they are shooting in Los Angeles, California in general, like what the Ankler told us, is because Sarah posted the casting call on her Instagram a few hours ago, or a day ago maybe by the time this is uploaded. She posted the casting call that I'm referencing on her Instagram story. And again, the casting call directs you to a link specifying that this series is going to be shooting in California, Los Angeles. So I think it's safe to say that we are going to be shooting in Los Angeles and not in Georgia like what Production Weekly was listing. And it does lend some, or does raise some green flags to me around the whole New Sunnydale angle. Why are we going back to Sunnydale? We don't know, but we'll find out. What do you think that narrative will look like? Why is Sunnydale being rebuilt? What kind of big bad do you want at the center of this plot? Now, let's talk about Thanksgiving 2. One of the stars, Nell, who I think plays Jessica, spoke to Variety, saying that she's read parts of the follow-up script and Eli Roth has shared some ideas with her, and that the goal is still to shoot the sequel sometime this year. So there you have it, folks. I've gotten so many DMs about Thanksgiving 2, and I kept telling a couple people the fact that Addison Rae wasn't even talking about it in her recent media exposure. That seemed like a red flag to me. But I guess Eli Roth's sequel is still happening. It is not canceled. They're planning to shoot it sometime this year. I will say that the fact that she only said they're planning to shoot it sometime this year leaves the door open for them to easily just push it into next year. What month this year? What month are you shooting it this year? Wasn't this supposed to shoot in March? So the fact that now we go from March to sometime, I don't really have that much faith that it's shooting this year. But saying sometime at least leaves that door open to say, oh, well, that's going to turn into sometime in January of 2026. We can't shoot it this year. And then the film will drop Thanksgiving 2026 instead of Thanksgiving this year, which it probably could have done had it hit the March shooting date. So the last thing we're going to talk about here is going to be Crystal Lake. Crystal Lake is casting several roles right now for its summer shoot that will start next month in New Jersey under the working title Mama's Boy. Now, over on Backstage.com, it lists a few roles. A wife of a principal character, a main, I would assume, model on a magazine, featured 1970s rowdy swimming campers, 1970s summer camp kids, featured swimming campers again, 1970 experienced lifeguards, camp counselors, and then archery camp counselors. So, again, with a casting call like that, a working title Mama's Boy, all signs point to this being Crystal Lake. And, of course, the New Jersey shooting location being the cherry on top of all of this. And A24 is mentioned, and all of the casting calls that are being posted on Instagram and things of that sort. So yeah, they're moving ahead with this show. Finally, we should start getting some more casting news as the month of June rolls around. And during the month of June, hopefully we find out who is going to be playing Elias. I still have hope for Elias as a character. But if not, hopefully this show is just a great character study on Pamela, somebody who is underappreciated, because like I stated, not my opinion on the movie, but there are others who do find that original film to be boring, and as a result, they undermine and undervalue Pamela. And it's about time Pamela got her respect, because she plays a very important role in this story, and hopefully Crystal Lake will give us that importance, or highlight that importance, I should say. But let me know what you guys think about all of this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, turn on post notification, you can never miss a video. In the description, I'll have links to all my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there to let me know if there are any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.